Yeah, what is popping? You heard me? Welcome to the Rocky Four Podcast. Back and bigger, better than ever. Sorry for the delay, ladies and gentlemen. We are back in Sunshine, FIU. You feel me? We are with the Young Stallion, aka Christoph, in the building.
It's been a long while, but we back.
It's been a long time. I should have left you without a dope pod to step two. Well, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, we got to adjust the elephant in the room. Okay. Baseball season is back. Bigger, better than ever.
Fuck yeah.
And the last 12 games has been very stressful for me for the New York Yankees. We're currently 5-7 right now. We just got swept by the Houston Astros. Sorry.
No love.
No love for Houston. No respect for them.
H-Town is a great city.
Now, hats off to the Houston offense because they came back strong. The first couple of games the Yankees played this season, we played against the Orioles and we played against the Detroit Tigers, and they went 4-2 or 2-4 against them.
I didn't like the fact that those games were televised.
All the Yankee games?
The Yankees playing the Orioles. I mean, do we
really? It was open day. What do you mean?
I mean, you could have put somebody else up there. It's the Orioles.
It's the Yankees, though. It's the Yankees.
I hear this every single day when I'm home, man.
It's the Yankees.
Orioles.
It's the Yankees. Anyway, tonight the Yankees play the White Sox, and we just have word that Gary Sanchez is on the DL. Another injury for the Yankees. This makes it 8 now.
Who's going to be the backstop?
They're bringing up, I believe, Kyle Huasca. I think I'm saying his name right.
Wow.
Now you have Stanton on the DL. You have Sanchez on the DL. Mm-hmm. You have Severino, who's not going to return to probably August. You have Sabathia, who's coming back in a couple of weeks. You have
I think he might be pitching this weekend.
And Duhar, who's hurt too. So the Yankees we have a lot of injuries right now, and we can't play. The next man steps up. We got to play that, but at the same time, they are 5-7 right now, and they're looking, questionable. People want to blame Aaron Boone. People want to blame the hitting. People want to blame the pitching. But at the same time, these guys still have. It's early in the season.
It's early, yeah.
We have to come together. We're doing fine right now. I'd rather these injuries happen now than later.
Definitely.
Now, my question to you, Chris, is within these first, couple of weeks of baseball, how do you think the Yankees stack up against the rest of the league?
Well, stacking up against the rest of the league, right now I feel like it's just the injury. So you can't really, when they're fully healthy, we know what type of team they are. And I think with possibly bringing Gio Gonzalez up before April 20th, that'd be a nice little addition to the rotation. A veteran guy, somebody that could give you, a couple good quality starts, maybe give up a lot of runs here and there, but comparing them against the rest of the league, I feel like they're near the top. They're in the top 10, like top 5 teams in the league when fully healthy.
Right now, the Yankees are second in the division because everyone else is doing terrible.
Yeah.
The Tampa Bay Rays are surprisingly 10-3, and no one's talking about them. No one. Ladies and gentlemen, they're 10-3. 10 wins to 3 losses.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
Well, a lot of people are slumping right now. Look at the Rockies. Their offense is non-existent, bro. Arenado hasn't even had a homer yet. Charlie Blackmon, no homer yet.
Story is doing.
Come on, Story has like 4. Like, come on, who else on that team? And Danny Murphy's hurt. Just teams like that are just slumping. So I feel like it's going to turn. Like the landscape of the league. This happens everywhere. The beginning of the season, there's always a team that's doing better than you expected.
Or midway through the season.
Yeah, and then they just fall off.
You look at the Red Sox. The Red Sox are 4-9 right now, which I'm very excited about.
See, that's
have you seen the Red Sox starting pitching, which is supposed to be the strength of that team?
Terrible.
Jesus.
Terrible.
Take the wheel. Do you realize,
David Price.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Red Sox starting pitching staff right now,
Rick Porcello.
All 5 of them.
Terrible.
All 5 of them have given up more than 10. Their ERA is over 10. And this is just the beginning of baseball, which is everyone needs to relax about. But the Red Sox are not starting off well as they should. Maybe it's the World Series hangover or whatever.
I honestly haven't heard Mookie Betts' name on like ESPN or anything once this season.
Mookie is there.
I heard Mike Trout.
But you got to think about the offense for both the Yankees, Red Sox, all these other teams it's not their offense that's struggling. Because you look at Gary Sanchez is having a really good start. Gleyber is having a good start, even though it's against the Orioles. Judge is having
Frazier.
Frazier, please. Yeah. Yankees, if you guys are hearing me out here right now, please.
That's supposed to be him and Judge were supposed to come up together. And
leave Clint Frazier up on the roster, please. Yeah. Get rid of old-ass Brett Gardner, for the love of God. Please, I'm sick of this man swinging that air. Every time he swings, bro, I cringe. Him and Greg Bird. I'll give you a point example. A couple nights ago, the Yankees were playing the Houston Astros, and we were down, I believe, by 1 run. Greg Bird comes up to the plate. We have 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning. It's a 1-2 count. I already knew what was going to happen. Once I seen Greg Bird on dead circle, I already knew the inning's over. Every time this man comes up, ladies and gentlemen, I have zero faith. I have more faith in this bird that's flying out the window than Greg Bird swinging damn bat. I cannot stand him. Please, for the love of God, trade him. I don't care if you get a pack of Newports back, my guy. I do not care. Please get rid of him. I'm sick of seeing him. Oh, Greg Bird has just so much potential. He's a great Gold Glove. He could do this. He could.
What does he play? Outfield now? What are they putting him in?
He plays first.
Leave. Look, let Luke Voit handle that.
My ideal starting lineup for the Yankees: leave Voit at first. You got Torres. You got Didi. You have Andujar when he's healthy. You have Judge. You have Hicks, and you have Frazier. And then you have Sanchez coming. DH is going to be Stanton, of course. Now, then you have the question where you have Tulowitzki, who's, could hit. You have
he's on the DL.
DJ Ameju, who's also having a really good start to the season. He's a good utility guy who I think he should start every day, too. Yeah. But these injuries are piling up heavy. I
hope Andujar doesn't have that surgery.
I don't. As a Yankee fan, man, it's getting scary right now because I understand it's the beginning of the season, but every game is critical.
Definitely.
Watching these games you want to win a World Series, and we need to relax on Aaron Boone. He's doing okay.
Yeah, it's a long season.
It's a long season. He's trying to rest these guys. I don't know why you're resting them, but he's resting these guys, trying to get them healthy. God knows how long. They want to do the analytics drive. But right now, looking at the whole landscape of the national of baseball, the Mets are leading the NL East right now. The Mets are having a really good start.
Yeah, look at their offense. Pete Alonso, what?
Robinson Cano. You have Wilson Ramos, who they just signed from the Rays in the offseason.
Amed Rosario.
They have a team, and DeGrom is playing out of his mind. Yeah. The Mets, I hope they keep up this, streak they're on. You got Atlanta's doing pretty well. The Phillies are doing okay. I think the Nationals
7-4 isn't bad.
Huh?
7-4 isn't bad.
Phillies are I think they're gonna win that division. I think it's the Phillies or the Braves. They're gonna figure something out.
I feel like
the Nationals don't have enough hitting, in my opinion.
Yeah. Nationals and then Trey Turner went down, so
exactly. They don't have
Soto.
You got Soto and
Zimmerman.
Soto's ridiculous.
Dozer is ass, really. He just hits for I don't even know what he hits for, bro. He can't even hit 200.
Exactly. But I'm gonna give you a quick shout out to Seattle Mariners, who are 13-2 on the season right now, who's killing it. And the only reason I bring this up is because last year on this podcast we had Christoph. This man's favorite team was the Mariners, and he hopped off that bandwagon quick.
They play with my head. They played with my head. And now I'm on the worst team in baseball.
Now he likes, ladies and gentlemen, get this straight. He likes the White Sox.
It's a historic franchise. Give me a break.
White Sox are terrible, man. But
I like potential. I like young players. We're a bunch of them. And there's just not a bunch of old guys, but there's not really anything there for me.
Look at Jay Bruce, how he's doing. He's hitting some homers.
He's an old head, though.
Tim Beckham. He came from the Mets.
Tim Beckham is 30.
And he came from what? The Orioles.
Yeah.
That team, I'm telling you.
Number 1 overall pick, man.
They got some pieces over there.
Late bloomer.
You still got Felix Hernandez, who's in.
You got the Japanese dude or wherever he's from. Was it Gucci or some shit?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we just hoping for the Yankees to have a better next couple of weeks and hopefully get this winning streak going on. Because my final point is you can't win. If you want to be a championship team, you got to win on the road. You want to have a 500 record on the road.
Yeah, they're 500 on the road right now.
But your home winning streak has to be a lot better.
Yeah.
You have to have 600 plus.
Right.
Which basically what I mean is you have to have a very good, really good record at home than you do on the road.
Yeah.
So you want to have more wins than you have losses. Yeah. But right now they're 2-4 at home, which is ridiculous right now. But they're going to come back and hopefully everything works out. And welcome back to the pod. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to enter the association. And the NBA playoff starts tomorrow. And we have a hand slate of games tomorrow. You have to start off with Brooklyn at Philly. Then you got Orlando at Toronto. You have the Clippers at Golden State. And the Spurs versus Denver to finish it off. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you this, the playoffs are so dynamic. There's so many great, playoff series that are there.
Yeah.
I think you got OKC, Portland. I think it's going to be a sleeper series. I think that goes 6. You have in the East, it's really wide open. You have Philly, Brooklyn, Toronto, Orlando, Boston, Indiana, Milwaukee, and Detroit. The first round of the playoffs is going to go by fairly easy. The second round, that's when it gets interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Because in the second round, if Golden State wins, they play Houston. Now, if OKC wins, they probably play Denver, which is a good matchup. But I want to start off by saying, which series are you looking for in the first round that's really intriguing to you, Christoph?
Just looking at both sides. Intriguing? I'm going to say Philly, Brooklyn.
Oh, I was about to say the same shit. I was about to say the same shit.
Because I fuck with D-Lo, man.
D'Angelo Russell, Bron. Oh, my God.
That's my guy. I want to see if this team, they have a lot of young pieces, like a lot of nice wings. I want to see if him, Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, Joe Harris, I want to see if they can really go up against Philly.
I don't think.
And beat them at home and at least get a game away.
He said,
at least get one of them.
He's like, at least get an away
game. I see if they can beat them, bro. That's a scrappy series right there, bro.
I look at that series and I'm like, everyone was like, Philly should win in 5. And I'm like, you realize Brooklyn can play.
Yeah, bro.
I think if Brooklyn had another superstar on that team, they're a contender automatically. If you get a Kawhi or even take it a step further, if you get like KD or another guy who's on the market this summer who should leave is Kemba Walker. You put Kemba Walker and D'Angelo Russell in the same backcourt, there are going to be problems because they can be a 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
They have
pieces. They kind of already have that in Dinwiddie and in Russell, and they locked, Dinwiddie up. But
they have a team.
Yeah,
that team is scary. They definitely have a team.
If they had like a true 4, like I'd say like Julius Randle, just because he's a nice piece to go next to Jared Allen, like complimentary, like rim protection. You got the scoring. They would be really nice. Better than the Pelicans with Anthony Davis, because they're just so much deeper than that team.
Right.
That's just it.
The West, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why the West is just so, I don't want to say one-sided, but we kind of know who's going to win.
Yeah, it's not really that exciting.
It's not exciting in the West because there's only one team that should win the whole thing, which is the Warriors. But they play the Clippers in the first round. I don't think that's going to be a sweep. I think the Clippers get a game just because.
I was about to say, are you really watching that?
I'm not watching it, but I think the Clippers
get a game. I'm going to catch the first game.
The Clippers are going to get a game. Just because I think later on in this postseason, you're going to see the Warriors do not have a lot of depth in that team. You have 5 All-Stars, don't get me wrong, but coming off the bench here, you have Iguodala, he's aging.
Quinn Cook, he's He's cool.
Quinn Cook. Say that with a straight face.
Chill. He went to the same high school as me. That's my man.
Okay, I understand. I'm not saying but you think he's going to get you a consistent.
Hey, when he had to start last year in Steph's place, he was putting up big numbers.
Because why? He had Klay Thompson. He had KD.
Like scoring on his own.
Oh my God.
I've been saying this forever, bro.
Oh my God.
It started with CJ McCollum. All niggas need is opportunity and playing time. That's it. That's it.
Here we go.
He's nice.
You gonna have a Netflix special for that too?
No, he's nice. I'm just trying to make it let it be known that
I agree with you. I agree with you.
He's on the team for a reason.
But at the same time, I don't think that these guys have enough firepower.
They just have really serviceable pieces. They're like the Spurs. They never really have any lottery picks. No. But they always somehow are in the middle of the pack. Or just making noise, just everybody coming together. They're like a gigantic bench unit. They're all one big bench unit, minus LaMarcus and DeMar. That's it.
So since the playoffs do start tomorrow, who do you have going to the finals?
Wow. Take it all the way now.
All the way.
Woo. Okay, I'll just say this. ECFs, I'm going...
The Eastern Conference Finals, ladies and gentlemen. Just letting you know.
ECFs, I'm going Milwaukee... And Milwaukee and Toronto. So the 1 and 2 seeds, that's pretty basic.
I tell you.
If the Raptors don't make it, obviously Philly. And then Western Conference Finals, Golden State and OKC.
Okay.
So finals, Warriors, Bucks. That's both number 1 seeds, and then Golden State with the W.
See, ladies and gentlemen.
It's all simple than it looks, man.
On the Rocky IV podcast, me and Chris, we tend to have, some disagreements sometimes.
It's only natural.
I'm going with the complete upset.
Oh, boy.
Even though as much as I cannot stand Chris Paul as a human being, I think he cries so much and so like a child.
Yeah,
I can't stand him. I'm going with a complete upset. I got the Rockets going against 76ers, man.
What?
Rockets 76ers finals.
That is insane.
Rockets 76ers. Come on.
Did you smoke some crack?
Look, 76ers, you got Ben Simmons. You got Jimmy Butler. Tobias Harris is a bucket. You got, who's their 4?
Tobias Harris is their 4.
Who's their 3?
Jimmy. And then you have J.J. Redick.
Oh, J.J. Redick. I'm sorry, at the shooting guard position. Then you have Joel Embiid, who's an all-NBA player, might win Defensive Player of the Year, but he's been hurt a lot. That team is loaded.
Big ups to Embiid.
But the Rockets always play up to the Warriors, always. And the Rockets have a lot of nice pieces on that team. Think about it. If you are the Rockets, and they went, I believe, 2-2 this season, or 3-1. Sorry, the Rockets won 3-1 without sweeping.
But I mean.
I understand it's the regular season. It's not really. You got James Harden scoring 36 points.
Yeah.
I don't think he should be MVP.
I don't think it's going to happen every night in the playoffs, though.
James Harden's going to get you damn near 30, 40 points a game.
Bro, it can't. It cannot happen. Like, look who they're playing first round. They're playing the Jazz, like one of the toughest defensive teams in the league. I think they're going to give them problems, bro.
They played them last year.
Rockets might, yeah, exactly. Rockets might lose in the first round.
God, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
It's just like all their pieces just cancel out. Like Gobert on Capella. So you take away the pick and roll, alley-oop. That's not happening. And then you got Donovan or whoever their best defender is on
Jay Crowder, maybe.
Yeah, they put Jay Crowder, Royce Neal, on James.
But look how deep this team is.
They're not deep. They're deep.
They have James Harden. Hear me up. James Harden, Eric Gordon, Chris Paul, Gerald Green, PJ Tucker, who's not a scorer, Shump, not a scorer. Gerald Green, he can get you a bucket. He can get you a spark. Kenneth Faried, Austin Rivers, and that's what I name 8 guys. They have a depth. Oh, Clint Capella too. Sorry, missed him.
Yeah,
they have a team.
I mean, you say all those names, but it's
and they got Ian Clark.
The way the Rockets play, the way they play is based all around James Harden. He holds the ball the entire possession, gets to take all the shots, and he just passes to Chris Paul. Pass to Austin River, pass it right back. Pass to Capella in the post, he don't do nothing, pass it right back. Then they run a pick and roll.
They have a good defense though. Their defense is.
They are a scrappy team.
PJ Tucker is very scrappy. Yeah. Shump's very scrappy. You have Clint Capella who's very scrappy. But I wonder if I'm, Mike D'Antoni later in the game, who do you put out in your final 5 minutes? Say you're down. Say you're up by 2. Who are you putting in? Who's your fight going out? You gotta go Capella.
Well, with the 1, Paul Harden.
It's tough.
At the 3, I'm going
Tucker.
Yeah, Tucker.
It depends on the matchup too.
Playing a team like the Jazz, you could put Tucker at the 4 maybe. Yeah. If they don't have one favorite, if they put in Ingles at the 4 or Crowder at the 4, then I put in PJ Tucker. Then I'd go Gerald Green at the 3 and then Capella at the 5.
You want to put Shump in? Shump is a lockdown defender.
Nah, Shump is a tough ass nigga.
But he is when you play offense with him.
And Cousy played point guard.
That's true.
So his ability to play off ball, he probably has adjusted to the game by now, but I'd put Gerald Green in there. He's a bigger body, more explosive, and I feel like he's a better shot maker or bigger shot maker.
I just think the NBA it's in good hands.
Yeah.
Transitioning to this summer, when free agency happens, I think the NBA is really going to change because I think KD's going to leave wherever he goes. Who knows?
I want to see him in New York.
I do.
I want to, bro.
But at the same time, I look at Zion because if the Knicks draft number 1 and they get Zion Williams, I think him and KD, they need another piece though.
Kyrie.
I do not want Kyrie Irving on the Knicks. I'm gonna say that right now. I do not want Kyrie on. Kyrie's injury.
You like Dennis Smith?
I'd rather take a young Dennis Smith than an injury prone Kyrie Irving. Who? Don't get me wrong. Kyrie Irving is making all these.
It's actually crazy.
Trash. It is, but at the same time, when's the last time Kyrie had a healthy season? He played all 82 games.
Never.
Okay, so he's coming off knee injury. He's having a great season with the Celtics, but at the same time, he's not healthy. You're gonna pay, and this is my other problem with Houston signing Chris Paul to that max deal. You're gonna pay this man till he's 39. Chris Paul is 34. You sign him to a max deal. Ladies and gentlemen, max deal is the most money you can give to a player to a certain team.
Banana boat.
So the Rockets offer Chris Paul, I believe he got 130? Something like that. It was over $100 million for 5 years to a 39-year-old guy. You got to think about it from an owner's perspective, from a management perspective. Are you really paying a man in their last season over $30 million and he's 39 years old?
No.
It's a terrible business move. So for the Knicks, Kyrie's going to be, 28, 29? At the end of his career, or at the end of the contract, he's going to be 34, 35. You think he's still going to be as productive he is right now? He's not.
If Chris Paul can do it, he can do it.
Okay.
Chris Paul, that's a different type of point guard.
Look how many injuries, or look how many surgeries Kyrie Irving has.
The most games he's ever played in a season is 75.
Exactly. And you're a Knicks team. You're going to be a young team. So you're going to
But he has been consistently at 60 every year since then. So he's missed a bunch of games, but it hasn't been anything that's overly debilitating, he broken his leg or some Paul George shit. So
the NBA this season more fans are gonna look into it because it's gonna be very evened out. Because this Warriors team is gonna get broken up.
I want Boogie. I said this since Boogie signed. It's just a 1-year thing. I think he's gone. I think KD's gone, and then I think Draymond, Clay, and Steph really have no choice but to keep it together.
Look who's free agency this summer. I'm gonna give you. There's a handful of guys, and this is gonna change the NBA.
Oh, why don't we just go off and just rattle off the teams we think they'll go to?
What do you mean, KD?
No, I
think KD goes to New York.
Okay.
I think Kyrie goes to LA. I think Clay stays in Golden State. I think Kemba goes to Brooklyn. I think Jimmy Butler goes. Jimmy Butler is interesting because there's not a place where I can see him. First of all,
he's home, bro. Philly. I don't think he wants to leave.
But Philly, you already paid Joel Embiid.
Right.
You got to pay Ben Simmons still. And you have to pay.
They gave Tobias Harris,
And Tobias Harris not going to take no pay cut. So he's coming off a career. Exactly, and JJ is going to be a free agent too.
He's an old man, JJ.
So you got
that's hard to.
From a marketing perspective, not marketing, but as a team, as ownership, you got to think where you want to spend your money on. Jimmy Butler, no disrespect to Jimmy, he's a great player. I think he's one of the best two-way players in the league. What has he done in the postseason? Because that's what we critique guys on.
Well, I mean, every time he's in the postseason, they were playing, tougher opponents. Like
he was
Cleveland with Ron. You're not going to get past that.
At the same time, you gotta. He was with the Timberwolves. He barely made them to the playoffs. He got to the playoffs one time with them.
That's not his fault.
It's not his fault.
Look at Andrew Wiggins, and then Karl-Anthony Towns was and probably still is the worst defensive big man.
And this is for a topic for a different day. But you think Andrew Wiggins is a bust?
Shit. Yes, because
he's not living up to his potential.
If you sit down and watch, I remember watching his high school mixtapes in like my HTML class in high school, and I would sit there and I would be scared for my life because I was like, this nigga is insane.
His vertical's ridiculous.
Him, Zion, Braun, like those are the most hyped guys coming out of high school.
You gotta remember,
his head was getting above the ground.
Andrew Wiggins was getting so much hype.
Yes,
everyone was
second coming to Braun.
Everyone put him at what? He was the number one pick with Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was hyping him up. This is, I believe, this is the 2014-2015 season before LeBron came back home, or 15-16 before LeBron came back home, and Cleveland had the first pick, and they traded the first pick to the Timberwolves to get Kevin Love. Now, that's a different story for a different day, but I think Andrew Wiggins is, what is his fourth season? He hasn't got paid.
I'm not sure.
He
has got paid. This nigga.
I forgot he got the extension.
This nigga is a thief.
Yeah, he's not living up to.
Con man for real.
I don't think he's a number one on any team in the NBA. Not number two.
Nope. He wasn't even number one on his own team. On the Timberwolves, he's not even number one.
I think he's maybe at best 3. The third best option on the team.
If Jimmy Butler was still there, he'd be number 3. You
have DeMarcus Cousins. I think DeMarcus goes somewhere in the Eastern Conference. But just because if you're a player, you want to stay in the East because it's not as difficult in the West. The West is the avenue you see is LeBron.
What if Marc Gasol retires
and he goes to the Raptors? But then does Kawhi
stay
lost
their traditional center. I think he does.
Kawhi stays with the Raptors.
I feel like Kawhi's not one of those guys that would be hopping all over the place.
That's true, because if you think about it...
I mean, but you never know, but that's just how I feel.
If you look at the trades that teams make before these guys become free agents, you look at the Paul Georges, you look at now the Kawhi Leonards, these guys stay. They sign a long deal. Who would have thought Paul George would have stayed in OKC? Everyone thought he was going to LA.
I thought he was staying
everyone did.
He's one of those guys too. He didn't demand to be traded from Indiana. They traded this nigga. Like, I'm sure he didn't want that. I mean, well, I'm pretty sure he probably did demand to trade, but he's just, most people, they don't like to hop around.
Exactly.
Like city to city, moving their family.
It's funny you say Julius Randle because Julius Randle is a free agent at the end of the year.
He might as well stay in NOLA because they give him all the minutes he can handle.
Now, I'll tell you this. We switch it up. What free agent is going to go team up with Braun? We already know AD is probably going to go over there. AD is in New Orleans are probably done.
It's kind of sad, man.
But who? I think Jimmy would be great over there. He's a third option on the team. Jimmy Butler's a third option on a good team. And that's no disrespect, but you put Jimmy with LeBron and AD.
Well, that's just by default, man, because those are two.
Okay, I even take it a step further.
2 generations time.
You put Kimba on that team. Kimba is a superstar.
Yeah, only because Kimba's a superstar. Fuck. Okay, you're right.
Because Charlotte,
only because he's all-star level, but it's something about those players that you named that just puts them over the top. The scoring ability, whatever it may be. You know, he's smaller, but he's better in a way.
Kemba, if the Charlotte Hornets do not resign Kemba Walker, they will be the laughing stock. They will be the new Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, because who else do they have? A bunch of young guys.
Miles Bridges, he's having a good rookie year. They're gonna, because you look at the bottom half of the NBA who's not making the playoffs. Atlanta's gonna be a lot better next year.
If Kemba Walker leaves Charlotte, Atlanta will be a better team than Charlotte.
No, off rip. Yeah. Because Atlanta's gonna get. I think they get a big time name. I could definitely see.
If I was somebody like DeMarcus Cousins, I wouldn't mind going to Atlanta.
But you gotta think about it.
I got my ring now. I could get back to being Boogie, like the nigga that was dominant before he.
You got a bunch of young guys though. You got Trae Young, who's all. You got a young dude. You want to be on a veteran team. I could definitely see DeMarcus Cousins with the Spurs. I could definitely see that.
Yeah, I could see that, but that'd be boring, Boogie. Like I feel like
he'd be like fundamentals.
Pop would have to fundamentals. Like Pop don't play that getting technicals all the time. Shit, you know, bang, wow, because Tim Duncan was never like that. Tony Parker was never like that. Manu Ginobili was never like that. Bruce Bowen, David Robinson, like come on, all stand-up guys. Pop probably got teed up the most out of all of them. So
where do you think Kyrie's going?
Realistically, I don't think he goes to LA. I know people have been saying that, you know, there's pictures of them like talking and shit. But I don't think that happens, bro. I feel like Lonzo, that's him. That's all him. Like the young guys. Now that Magic is gone, bro. Nah, bro. They not. I feel like they're not gonna pull in nobody but Anthony Davis, which probably will happen just because Rich Paul and that connection right there.
But if you're the Pelicans, you're gonna have to ask for a ransom. They tried to do that during the season.
Well, is he? He's unrestricted after this season, right?
He has 1 year left.
1 year left?
Yeah. So you're gonna have to. They're gonna give up. If you're, I'm gonna ask you. You're the Pelicans, and I'm the Lakers, and I'm offering you Lonzo, Kuzma. You're not trading Brandon Ingram because Brandon Ingram has a serious heart condition. You're not gonna want him. Who else do you want? Who else on that team is valuable? Everyone else is on 1 year deals. Lance gone, Rondo's gone.
I don't know, but McGee's at some point, no matter who they are, I mean, the most they'll get is like a couple of picks and a really good player. But at some point, like when a nigga wants to go and you've made it known that they, basically got 1 foot out the door, like you gotta let the nigga go.
You see what he wore to the final game in New Orleans. Folks. That's all, folks. Anthony Davis pulled up to the final game with the Pelicans.
And I just put on with my.
He had a shirt that said "That's all, folks." Nothing towards the Pelicans or anything, but that man's leaving. I give AD a lot of credit because
a long summer.
Exactly. The Anthony Davis, the whole saga with him, is because there was bad management going around. You had a superstar talent, Anthony Davis, and you failed to give him talent around him.
All right, all the years he's been there,
and you gave him.
How many years? 7 years.
You gave him Boogie. That's it. No disrespect. No disrespect to Julia Holiday.
Yeah.
Who's a bucket.
One of the most underappreciated players
in the league. Yeah. But besides that, who did you really give him?
Nobody. You drafted nothing really. There's nobody there, man.
We want to give a quick shout out to Dwayne Wade in his final game as a Miami Heat.
Welcome to the banana boat, brother.
Welcome to retirement. Yeah. Not being a Heat fan at all, but I definitely respect his game over the years and his hustle and what Wade's brung to, living in the city of Miami. Look what he's brung to the city.
We're in Wade County. We're looking at it.
Exactly. He's going to Heat games. I've seen him a couple times this year. This man is incredible. He can play.
Unfortunately, I never got a chance. No, I did get a chance to see Dwayne Wade play. I went to the season opener, the Wizards home opener. Okay. It was Heat versus Wizards. Wow. So I did get a chance to see him play before he.
Even though I hated his jump shot with a passion.
Yeah.
I hate it because every time it looks so slow, but it goes in. Yeah. It looks like he's thinking about it too much.
What's your fondest D-Wade memory?
Oh, when he threw that ball up when they won the championship against the Mavericks. And he threw the ball in the air. I was so pissed because I wanted the Mavericks to win because I hated. There was growing up, all these Heat fans, man, bandwagon fans, I couldn't stand it. And then when LeBron went to Miami,
it made it even worse.
It made it worse because everyone all of a sudden was a Heat fan out of nowhere, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is how there's a lot of fake fans out there." During one of the finals, the Spurs were playing the Heat, Game 6. The Spurs were up by 5 with like 30 seconds to go. Yeah. That's when Ray Allen hit the game winner. Went to overtime, and everyone was leaving. Everyone was gone. Mm-hmm. And then the Heat came back and tied and went to OT. Yep. And everyone was like, "Oh, they're trying to get back in the building." And the Heat were like, "Nah, you trying to get coming back in here? No,
security
shut all that shit down." They're like, "Nope, once you out, you out." So I'm very fond of Dwayne Wade, what he's done for not just the city of Miami, but for basketball in general. He's from Chicago, going to Marquette. I wish he got drafted by the Knicks, but that's their story for a different day. He's a really good player. I think he's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, no doubt.
I think he's way better than Paul fucking Pierce. Can't stand him.
That shit is funny, but if you actually look at their numbers, I mean, it's a lot closer than you think.
Oh my god.
Wade just has more rings. And
what? He has better accolades. Has Paul Pierce ever been an All NBA player?
No.
Thank you.
I don't think so.
Has Paul Pierce ever been to Olympics?
No, but I'm just saying it's a lot closer than you think.
It's not close.
Like if you just hear Paul Pierce and D Wade, your mind automatically thinks
D Wade's better.
D Wade, no doubt. But when you look,
game on the line, who you taking the shot? D Wade or Paul Pierce?
Paul Pierce step back.
God,
was vicious.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have to get a new co-host, man. This man
Paul Pierce step back was vicious.
What?
Come on, bro.
His body looks like a milk carton. What are you talking about?
It's just so fluid.
His jump shot is broke as fuck.
He's got a lot of game. They actually have the same amount of game winners, I think. I think it's like 15 for 69.
Do you realize Paul Pierce tried to do that fair world tour and what happened? No one cared. Who was Paul? People were like, "Who Paul Pierce? Who is Paul Pierce?"
That's kind of sad because Paul Pierce did a lot for the game.
For
the city of Boston, at least.
Fuck Boston.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of racist people up there. But
Yes. And that's not being a New Yorker. It's because I cannot stand the city of Boston at all.
No, he's wrong. D Wade had the better career, but I'm just saying,
glad we're on the same page.
It's a lot closer than.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to switch topics to the NFL, and one of the first topics we're going to discuss. We're going to catch you up with the free agency in a bit, but we want to talk about the whole AB, Antonio Brown, and Juju Smith-Schuster beef that went on. Mm-hmm. So, as you know, Antonio Brown went to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and during this last season, he had a bit of, confrontation with Big Ben Roethlisberger, the quarterback, and the whole management, the whole team. He wasn't getting enough touches, and things of that nature. And then they went to Twitter, and the Steelers voted Juju Smith-Schuster the player of the year or offensive player of the year or whatever you want to call it. Juju Smith-Schuster, mind you, had a great year. Mm. And AB tweeted, he was like, the guy fumbled the biggest game of the year.
Yeah.
And Juju He did. But Juju Smith-Schuster came. Stop saying that fast. I'm just saying Juju, man. Anyway, so Juju came and was like, I did nothing but admire you, and you come and attacked me, yada, yada, yada. They just went back and forth on Twitter. It's kind of nonsense. But everyone wants to put blame on Juju Smith-Schuster, or no, on Antonio Brown. But I think Juju had something to do with this. I think he instigated a little bit.
Nah.
Hear my reasoning.
Nah.
So when Antonio Brown got traded to the Oakland Raiders this offseason, you have a picture posted by Juju on his Twitter that says, caption, I'm ready. And it's him scoring a touchdown against the Oakland Raiders this year. And he's, making a touchdown or whatever. But in the background, you see a guy named Antonio Brown just standing there watching. And then a few days later, you got Juju praising Big Ben, which is okay. He's his guy, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And then you have Juju Smith-Schuster, who will go on record and say that, he loves Antonio Brown, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, he's kind of sneak dissing
I don't.
AB just because he's getting into something he has no business to get into. He's choosing sides because Antonio Brown and Juju were really close when they came into the league, and then when Big Ben and Antonio Brown had their problems, Juju was all over, Big Ben praising him. And
it's just that Juju is under contract. Like, you're not going to, talk dirty about Ben or the organization. You're not going to take Brown's side. He's not on the team anymore. Like, he's smarter than that. I mean, everything that AB has said is just like completely uncalled for. I mean, it shows that Juju's a really genuine guy, though. Like, even going back to before, they played together, he respected him.
Right.
So, I mean, you can't say much about Juju or what he's done or not done.
And I'm not saying Juju's
in favor of,
I'm not saying Juju's a bad guy. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying he's just stuck his nose where he's not supposed to choose sides in that situation.
Exactly. He hasn't. And that's why I feel like Antonio Brown
He took it like he did.
He took it like he chose a side of...
Because if you pull the picture he posted, you know how many pictures they take in the NFL when people score touchdowns? Mm-hmm. Why did you choose that one? AB's in the back, like, watching, because if you see the photo, you see... Remember when we made the toe tap against Oakland?
Yeah.
You see Antonio Brown in the background like this. Like, standing with his arms up, like, okay. Because he was open.
Uh-huh.
And you just see...
That's just the type of player he is, man. Like, he could say that he just wants the team to win, but it don't look like that.
Why would you tweet, I'm ready, the day after he gets traded?
Because that's the truth. Like, I'm ready to step up to the plate. I'm ready to
But why do you need to post that to everybody? Why you gotta let the world know that, hey, guys, I'm ready, man. He got traded, man. He's gone.
It could have been just, reassuring the Pittsburgh fans. Like, I'm here.
This man...
I'm ready.
Pittsburgh fans
I'm number one.
They're so, what's the word I'm looking for? I wouldn't say full of themselves, but they've
been spoiled.
Exactly. That's what I'm spoiled.
Like, you had Antonio Brown, you had Emmanuel Sanders,
Mike Wallace
when he was tough, Jerome Bettis, Trevor Malu,
Pascal Burst.
The list goes on. Lynn Swan, like, all the great ass people that we look up to playing NFL streets.
And look, if people want to downgrade, like, Le'Veon wasn't a great talent either.
Well,
no, I'm saying the Pittsburgh. If you talk to Pittsburgh Steelers fans, they hate Le'Veon.
Well, that's because he didn't play. And they're like, oh, we have James Conner. He's tough too.
Yeah,
he is tough, but
he's not better.
He's not Le'Veon.
He's not
Le'Veon.
And Steelers fans, just to let you know that you didn't need Le'Veon this season, you guys didn't make the playoffs. And the one season he did not play, you guys missed the playoffs. So
did you peep how cordial, James Conner and Le'Veon were?
Oh yeah, I've seen it. And that was
nice to see.
I like that mutual respect between them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not like there's no hatred, so much hate in the world. But we're going to get you guys caught up back on, the NFL free agency frenzy, where my Jets picked up some good pieces during the offseason. We got Le'Veon Bell. We signed him to a 4-year deal, you heard.
Not too shabby.
We got C.J. Mosley, who's one of the best inside linebackers in the game, to go with Jamal Adams. We just signed T.Y. Montgomery. We got Tremaine Johnson as well. The Jets, we got some pieces now. We got Crowder.
Yeah, Jamison Crowder.
Jamison Crowder from the Redskins. The Jets are gonna make some noise this year, man. I think they're gonna go 9-7. Missing the playoffs, which
wasn't I correct in my prediction last year?
You said what, 5-11?
Yeah, you guys went
4-12.
Yeah, I said 5-11. So I was being too generous last year.
We're gonna be.
It's crazy how I was almost spot on. It's crazy.
But some of those games were one possession games. You can't blame them.
Y'all can't close out.
The only thing I would say about the Jets that I'm afraid of is Adam Gase, because that man just looks like he's on some type of medication every time I see him.
I don't know what's wrong with
his
eyes.
Yeah, his eyes scares the shit out of me. But I think the Jets are going to be a really good team. You have a lot of pieces that moved around. You had Odell Beckham, who got traded to the Browns.
That's insane. The teammates back together.
Jarvis and Odell's back together. The Giants and the Browns made a trade. Odell Beckham Jr. and I believe they got a pick.
Some picks, man. This is a bunch of picks.
And then the Browns got OBJ, and the Giants got the first. They got the first round, they got the third round, and they got Julius Peppers.
Yeah, Jabril.
Not Julius. The safety from Michigan.
Yeah.
Now, who knows what the Giants are doing right now? Just because that whole ownership is out the window. You don't know what you're doing with Eli. There are reports saying they're not taking a quarterback with the 6th pick, which the Giants' mess is just crazy. I don't know what the hell they're doing. If they don't pick a quarterback at 6, the whole management should be fired.
They're at 6. Now, if they find some way to trade up or get all these other teams to not take Kyler, which I think will happen at number 1 with the Cards, that's their guy. If they have Kyler, then they got Saquon, Sterling Shepard.
They just signed.
You don't have OBJ. That's unfortunate. But then you did replace Landon Collins with Jabril Peppers,
who's a younger guy.
Who's a younger guy.
The kid can play.
Hella potential. He can do it all: punt return, kick return.
I would say if I was the Giants,
I would. They could be alright in the long run.
I would either do one or two things: take the 6th pick and the 17th pick you have this year, and trade to get the 2nd pick.
That's what I was.
Or I would get guys who are the best available whenever they come my way, and then tank and try to get Tua.
Okay.
Because if
you like Tua more than Dwayne Haskins, I would say I like Tua more than Dwayne.
Tua is something serious, man, from Alabama. That guy is something serious.
And it showed something, like his family being at the Heisman thing. Just listen to his family, like that's a guy that's going to.
What's the kid from Oregon?
What's his name? Herbert.
Justin Herbert. I like Tua a lot, man, but you gotta realize a lot of teams are gonna suck this year too. The Dolphins are gonna be ass. They're trying to tank, man. They're like, yo, you see they gave away Ryan Tannehill to the Titans for nothing, man. They traded Ryan Tannehill. They're trying to take so bad.
Didn't even give him a chance, for real. Like a second chance.
But if you look around the whole landscape, NFL, most of the 32 teams have quarterbacks. There's only a handful of teams that don't have one.
Yeah.
Because if you look at Oakland,
or at least their quarterback of the future.
Oh, exactly. So if you look at the top 5, the Cardinals, I don't know why the hell would they take a quarterback when they have Josh Rosen. You just picked him last year. Yeah. Josh Rosen's a good guy.
Yo, you could trade that number 1 pick for anything, or you could just take the best available guy. Like
the Cardinals are in a really good spot.
Yeah.
Because if I'm calling the Giants, I'm like, give me your 6th and 17th, and give me a first round from next year, and you can have no 1 pick.
Exactly. Like Kyler Murray.
But then again, you either want to take it this year, you want to get Kyler Murray or Tua, because you're investing a lot into the kid I was just talking about.
Into
Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
You're investing a lot into him. So
that's 3
first rounders for just one guy.
Or you could be in the same spot next year and
have 2 guys that you got and develop on your team.
But yo, that's so far away. That's a year from now.
Exactly.
It's a whole other year from now.
You gotta do this.
It's a long time, man.
Giants, they gotta do something, man. You
have to. It's a balancing act, right? Appeasing the fans, not being too bad. I mean, nobody wants to be the Browns, and then saving your own skin in the front office, like doing something, just appeasing the fans, winning a couple games, and then doing the best thing for the franchise behind the scenes.
Because right now, the Giants are the worst team in that division. I think the Redskins are better than the Giants. Because the Cowboys and Eagles are better than the Redskins are better by default. They have better defense.
Yeah, okay, it's the defense.
Their offense, I mean,
if the Giants still had OBJ, they surprised me last year losing all those games. I was really surprised. But
how far do you think this Browns team can go with OBJ? That offense is scary.
I think the division is there, bro.
Oh, no, I already knew that division was there. Because they almost won it last year.
Son, this is insane.
They're making the playoffs next year.
Fuck, I should have been a Browns fan. This is what they was looking forward to. They have Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, Carlos Hyde, OBJ, Jarvis Landry. Oh, Kareem Hunt, my fault. Kareem Hunt. Yeah. Like, what?
David Njoku. That defense, you got.
The defense is cool.
That defensive line is not bad. What did the Browns pick? Like 18th this year? You don't have a.
I don't even know, but it doesn't matter.
Oh no, they can't. They picked 17. They already gave it to the Giants.
Yeah, right. They traded.
That team's gonna be something.
It's insane,
but it also could be disaster too. Because if Baker Mayfield has a shitty season, they're gonna trade his ass.
Last year he didn't really have a shitty season, so if he just works off what he did last year, sky's the limit for the team.
If I'll tell you this, he has to have more wins. If he's having an okay season but they're winning, he's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But if he's having an okay season and they're losing, they're gonna want to get him out quick. Because you have all that talent on that team.
Yep.
And you got Callaway on that team from the speedster from Florida. You got Higgins still on the team. Those guys can ball.
Jalen Strong.
He played for Houston Texans.
Yep.
Kid can play. I mean, that receiving core is... You can't even name a better receiving core than them two. What, the Vikings? Stephon Diggs and Thielen? Diggs is low-key overrated.
Chill. Whoa.
Low-key overrated.
Calm down.
He's
not like a 5th-round pick. There's no way he's overrated.
He's a 5th-round pick?
I think so, yeah.
What school did he go to?
He was a third or 4th or 5th. I don't even. He went to Maryland.
Yeah, a tad bit overrated. Just because you're going to compare them to OBJ and Landry? We're talking about the best tandems in the league.
Okay, you have the Rams.
The Rams.
Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp. What they were doing.
Okay.
Together.
You said all three of them.
All three of them together. Since we're talking.
I forgot. I thought we were talking about. I forgot Brandon Cooks was on that team.
Yeah. Who else?
Atlanta, no. Jets, no. Hell no. You got the Vikings. You got a couple over there.
I would say the Patriots. Do you think Gronk is going to stay retired?
Hell yeah. You see how many injuries that nigga has?
He was making it seem like he was going to come back.
Oh, that man ain't coming back. He said F the NBA. He said F the NFL. He gonna do wrestling, man.
This is crazy.
The Saints, we got Michael Thomas and who's their second best receiver? Kamara, technically.
Yeah, I was about to say their second guy. Ted Ginn.
Okay, you can't even say that shit with a straight face.
Ted Ginn, he was cooking. Whoa. He was cooking before he got hurt.
Right.
And he came back, I think.
Right. Whatever you say. But, ladies and gentlemen, it's coming to the end of the pod. We promise you we're going to come back better, bigger, and stronger next week. And we're going to be back on our, bullshit. Shout out to the Yankees. Shout out to Nipsey Hussle.
Oh, man.
For this podcast.
I cannot believe it.
Shout out to him and what he's done for everyone around him and trying to make this world a better, positive place. The world is a cruel place we live in, and he spread nothing but love and positivity. Shout outs to him. Shout outs to his family. We're losing good people every day, man.
Left and right. It's completely unbelievable. But the marathon continues. That's what
like you said, marathon continues. Peace, love, and positivity, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first ever Rocky Ford podcast with your boy Alex, a.k.a. Rocky Ford himself, with my main man, Christoph.
Yes, sir. We're in the building.
A.k.a. Young Juice. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this podcast is going to come to you live every week, and we're going to bring you some new content about everything and anything. Now, let me give you a little backstory about us. We're just a couple college kids trying to, do things that we like to do. And we just talk a lot of shit, and we're just going to tell you what's on our minds as, young kids in college or whatever. Now, every week we'll have someone different, but your co-host right now is Chris, and he'll be here throughout the year. My main man. Now, to kick it off, we're going to talk about the NFL. And I know we're a little late, and
definitely more than a little
because Super Bowl's next Sunday.
Yeah.
Our first segment is the NFC Championship games. last week the New Orleans Saints played the Los Angeles Rams, and there's a lot of controversy about a couple penalties that weren't called, and people are outraged because of the outcome of the game.
Yeah.
Now, Chris, my first question to you would be is, who really should have won that game? The Saints or the Rams?
Saints by far. If you just look at the game, don't take into account all the missed penalties on both sides. Just look at that one play. Everything that happened up to that point. None of that other shit matters. If you just look at that one play and the effect that it had on the outcome of the game, by far, the Saints were favored to win that game at that point, 99%. If you make that call right, they're able to run the clock down to 4 seconds, I believe it was. And what could the Rams do at that point? But sit or just run a single play and just hope that they end up in the end zone somehow. The game was over, in my opinion, and that call just extended it.
To further your point, I in my personal opinion is I think the Rams should have won, and they did win. Mm-hmm. The only reason I feel like they won was only because they executed a lot better than the Saints did. Mm-hmm. The Saints came down. It's a tie game, 2020. And you're moving the ball, you kick a field goal, you win the game. Now, I think Sean Payton played terrible. His execution was bad. Just on the fact that on first down you want to throw the ball.
And they got the call. There was a flag, but it just wasn't called. I don't think the fact that he threw the ball on first down really matters. I mean, you see a guy. I mean, you're able to make a play and that happens and they don't throw a flag. It's just wow, you're helpless. There's no review. There's no anything. It's essentially, we just have to settle for overtime, or we just, run those other two plays before fourth down and see what happens. But that call really, really fucked everything up for them.
But at the same time, you can't put it on just one play of the game. But at the same time, I put you a point a little further back in the game. Before the Saints came down and kicked the field goal and took the lead, before that drive happened, the Rams were driving and they had first and goal within the 8-yard line. Mm-hmm. They ran a couple plays. It's third and goal. Jared Goff scrambled and tried to score. He ran it himself. He didn't get it. But there was a face mask penalty that was obviously missed. Mm-hmm. So he missed, and now it's fourth down. They have to kick the field goal to tie the game. Yeah. Now, say if they called it, mm-hmm. It's first and goal for the Rams.
Yeah.
That changes everything. You can run the clock out. You could run the ball, the score. You'd be up by 4. It's a whole different ball game. So, in my opinion, I don't think that just one play alone, that pass interference call, is so big just because of there's other plays in the game that should have been called. Even I'll take a step further. In overtime, they missed another one. When Drew Brees threw the ball and he picked it off. It was a holding on the DB. And Drew Brees threw a pick, and now it's Rams ball, and they're driving down the field trying to score. Yeah. So I think the Rams, they got, I wouldn't say lucky. They played an excellent game.
Yeah. Well, first, if we just look at the two teams, I feel like the Rams, with what C.J. Anderson did and how he was playing, up to that point recently, they definitely had the better team. So I feel like the better team did indeed win, but I feel like they shouldn't really feel as good as a team that had won in any other way would feel. And back to your point, everything up to that point in the game, like I said before, none of that matters. They didn't call the face mask. They didn't do any of that. So in that moment, you just have to call what's happens on the field, and they failed to do so, and we saw what happens. So if I was a Saints fan, I wouldn't feel right. I would be outraged for the next 15 years of my life, because how often Drew Brees is done. He's not going back to the Super Bowl. He's not getting there again, and this was their only chance, his last chance to do it.
I wouldn't say this is gone. I wouldn't say if it's his only chance to make it to the Super Bowl, because they still have the same team from next year. But
he's 40 years old.
At the same time, they had a great regular season. I give you that. Yeah. He might win MVP. I hope he does.
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes. That's a different story for a different day. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes is doing his thing. But at the same time, the Saints always end up shooting themselves in the foot. They always end up.
Not this time though.
You can't blame
that one call.
You can't blame
You have to move on to the next play, but that call, that's such a big call. Even in overtime, I'm still thinking about that shit. Like, why are we playing overtime?
But
we're not even supposed to be here.
Question: when you kick the field goal and they're up, your thought process is like, okay, they're up 3.
No, my thought process is, wow, this game should be over.
I'm not saying you, but their average fan is like, okay, they're up 3. They just get a stop and you're good.
Yeah.
But the Rams, throughout, and I give them a lot of credit, throughout the game, they kept fighting. They was never like, oh, it's too out of reach for us. The Saints, played a great game, and shout out to C.J. Anderson. C.J. Anderson, keep getting them checks, my guy. You on 2 teams, you on a practice squad.
4 rushes that game. I think T.J. had 4 rushes. And
C.J. Anderson's the unsung hero. Like he's out here really working.
Mike Tolbert 2.0 right there.
Exactly. Now, we switch gears and we go to the AFC Championship game where the Patriots play the Chiefs. And everyone thought the Chiefs would have won this game easily.
No, not me.
But the Patriots end up winning in overtime, which was a hell of a game.
Yeah, it was. Really
Shout out to Tom Brady, even though I'm a Jets fan. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to understand.
Shout out to Patrick Mahomes.
I'm a Jets fan. You realize how much agony this man gives me. This man gives me every year.
Taking everything in you to say that right now.
And it's at the end of the day, I respect the man. It's just like LeBron. He's great. You can't take anything away from him. It's Tom Brady. When he went into Arrowhead on Sunday, and the way he played against the Chiefs and the limited weapon or the options he had as a disposal, I give him a lot of credit. This man balled out. But
they're not really limited weapon wise though. I feel like they have more weapons than the Chiefs actually. And the Chiefs defense showed us like who they really are and who they have been for a long time. So it's like I really expected the Patriots to come in and dominate. They didn't dominate because it was just like it ended up being a tie game late, but we saw what happened in OT.
One question for you, Chris. You said
that one drive showed it all.
You said that the Patriots have no weapons, correct?
No. I said the Patriots have more weapons than the Chiefs.
But what I'm saying is,
what
receiver on the Patriots is better than Tyreek Hill?
None of them.
Exactly.
Because
no, you answer my question. You answer my question. You answer my question. Mm-hmm. What tight end is better than Travis Kelce this year? If you say Gronk, it's because of his whole career.
No tight end.
Okay,
thank you. Second in the league, I'd say Zach. I'd say Ertz. I'd say Ertz and Kittle's probably number 3.
So I give you a step further.
Just this past season, Gronk is probably number 1 when healthy.
So on paper, the Kansas City Chiefs have more weapons than the Patriots, correct?
Or like better weapons if we're talking like league wide, but. If you look at their backfield, they have Rex Burkhead scored the final touchdown,
which is crazy.
And every time he touches the ball, it's like the change of pace is crazy. James White passing down, he caught 10, 11 passes. Then you have Sony Michel, who's the lead back, and then you have Rex Burkhead, who's just jack of all trades, who does whatever they need him to do. And then at wideouts, it's like
when I watched that Chiefs and Patriots game, I honestly thought the Chiefs should have played a lot better. I think they were overwhelmed in the first half. That's why they didn't score.
Right.
So in the second half, they're like, okay, we're the Chiefs. Let's score. So you keep going battle with Tom Brady. That final drive in overtime, you could tell the defense, I've been saying it all year long, your defense is going to prove how good you are. Mm-hmm. And the Chiefs don't have a defense at all.
Not at all.
Because what DB on the Chiefs are you afraid of?
None of them. The third down conversions in OT, they were 3 for 3, and they were all 3rd and 10, I believe. One may have been 3rd and 9, but they were all third down conversions that saved or that ultimately won the Patriots the game.
And I
could stop them.
I feel really bad for Andy Reid because his game plan is so well, but when you have a team in the Patriots that holds the ball for almost 44 minutes of the game, and you send it to the game into overtime, on paper, if you look at the stats, the Patriots should have blew this team out. Yeah. It so happened they even got to overtime. That shows you how great a team the Chiefs are. And because you only have the ball for 21 minutes.
Young quarterback in Patrick Mahomes.
Which he's going.
He has to make the throws. And
the only thing I would say about Patrick Mahomes the one thing I would say about Patrick Mahomes is this man is going to be a star in this league for years to come. And I think he's going to grow each and every year. But the only thing I would say about him is he needs to get a defense behind him, because you can only score so many points when you get in the postseason. Just like the Colts, they played the week before. The Colts, Andrew Luck, that team is coming. That defense is getting really well together, and they're going to come.
But it's the offense that was lacking. We saw what happened when they played.
But when you play the Patriots, they're going to take away your best option. Yeah. They're always going to take away your first and second option. They're going to take it away. But with the Chiefs, I think they lost that game on, I want to say on purpose, but I would say is your first half told you where the game was going. Yeah. You didn't score at all.
And you're lucky to have even ended up in overtime. So.
You really are. Patrick Mahomes is a hell of a kid. I think he should win MVP over Drew Brees. That's just my personal opinion, because the way he played throughout the years is crazy. But moving on to the Super Bowl matchup we have is New England Patriots versus the Los Angeles Rams. And Chris, I will ask you, what is your prediction for that game?
Really, I haven't given much thought. I'm still kind of upset that the Saints were kind of dicked out of the Super Bowl like that. I wanted to see Drew Brees and Tom Brady give it one more go. You know, that would have been like a storyline for
ages to come,
right?
Yeah.
You know, Drew versus Tom, the last big showdown. You know, they're both in their 40s. But honestly, I think that because this will be somewhat like record-breaking for Tom Brady, I just think they're going to win. Just because somehow, some way, it doesn't matter like who's on the field, anything. I just feel like the Patriots are going to win. And I feel like most times things are scripted, not like to be too conspiracy theorists.
Right.
Yeah, I just feel like the Patriots with Bill Belichick, they're not going to lose.
Now, my prediction, we're a week away for the Super Bowl. I think the Rams will come out firing, and they're going to play well. And just like we saw last year with Philly and New England, just so many times you can, dictate the flow of the game with Bill Belichick. I really think this year is a different year. I think Sony Michel he might be, and this is a dark horse, MVP of the Super Bowl, just because I think the Rams, they have a lot of stars on that team, but they don't have a lot of depth. So the Ndamukong Suhs, the Aaron Donalds, the Aqib Talibs, those guys of the worlds, they will get tired throughout the game, because what the Patriots are going to do is they're going to control that clock. Because what the Rams are doing throughout these playoffs, the Rams are not controlling the pace of the game. They want to score fast. So, I understand you got C.J. Anderson. I understand you got, Todd Gurley. I understand you got those weapons. But at the same time, Bill Belichick is going to take those away. And he's going to make Jared Goff beat him. So I think as much as you don't understand how much this hurts me as a Jets fan. I tell you, I can't stand Tom Brady or the Patriots at all. I cannot stand them. But I honestly think Tom Brady is going to win another Super Bowl again.
Well, he's been there every year, bro.
He's been there.
But I know there's other people that won Super Bowls, but it's like I feel like Tom Brady or the Patriots have won every single one of them since I've been alive.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's kind of weird.
Tom Brady's been to 8 straight AFC Championship games. He's been to 5 Super Bowls in the past, 8 years?
Shit.
But
I told you he's won every one. That's all. That's what I believe. He's won every one.
I don't think he will slip up this time. Tom Brady.
He won't.
And you know what's crazy? So there was a quote today about Tom Brady playing in the Pro Bowl. And it was like, Tom Brady, this is, paraphrasing. Tom Brady said, "Shit, man, I don't play to play in Pro Bowls. I play to win rings." So, Chris, I'm going to ask you off rip. Now, Chris has not looked at anything remotely related to the Pro Bowl. Chris, when's the last time Tom Brady played in the Pro Bowl?
No idea, but I did see some old footage of him and Phil Rivers, I believe it was, together in the Pro Bowl. But Tom looked pretty young, so I don't even know what year it was. I haven't watched a single Pro Bowl in my entire life. That may come as a shock to some people, but I've always thought the NFL Pro Bowl was fluke. Even though I do love football and I love watching good football games and seeing shit come down to the wire. I've never watched an entire Pro Bowl. I've never sat down and watched a Pro Bowl willingly. I may watch it with my friends, but
at the NFL, please do better, bro. Yeah, please. All these little
Darius Leonard.
Come on, man. The dude from the Colts, the linebacker. He led the league in tackles, and you can't even get this man in the Pro Bowl. Come on, bro. Anyway, like I was saying, the Pro Bowl needs to be a lot better. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Pro Bowl needs to be better. No one watches it. It's in Orlando. Move that shit back to Hawaii where people love it. You know, bring back the days when Sean Taylor ran over the punter and the punter got up and dapped him up. In reality, if you ever seen that video, you got to understand. Sean Taylor ran this man over. And then the punter
going back three whole yards.
You realize he hit him so hard he fumbled the ball inbounds and still got hit. How? How, Sway? How?
I don't know.
So as of right now, ladies and gentlemen, we at the Rocky Ford Podcast, we support the New York Knicks.
Not me.
First of all, my Knicks are to my heart, man. I've been loving them since I was a kid. And we are terrible. But we tanking for one and only Zion Williamson. Please, come to New York. Please. Every game we play, I'm like, yo, please lose. Please get your ass kicked. Please. I don't care about the score. Every time I see the score and it's a close game, I'm like, why? Please lose. Anyway, as we're recording this, James Harden has 39 right now against Orlando Magic, which is his 20-plus 30-point game mark consecutively. And this man's on the tear. But I'm just open this question up to you, Chris, because you know more about James Harden than I do, because I can't stand the man. Do you think James Harden is the MVP of this year right now?
Yes, hands down. Without him, what are they? Let's see. How many points do they have right now? 39. I mean, okay, he has 6 assists, but on a regular night, a James Harden going crazy night, which is basically the norm. If you take him out of the game, who else are you going to go to? I mean, you have Eric Gordon. Chris Paul is back, thank God.
He's 4 for 12 for 3. Stop shooting the ball.
That's accurate, bro. He went 1 for 17 one night, man. That's normal. They don't care that Mike D'Antoni gives him the ball and says, shoot that bitch.
The only thing about James Harden I cannot stand is the fact that this man scores 20-plus free throws a night. The NBA just – okay, I understand he can get to the rim and, a man can create his own fouls. I get all that. But at the same time, it's like a team barely gets 20 free throws a night. A team, say the Magic, say the Heat, say the Knicks, they barely get 20 free throws as a team. This man has it alone. So the one thing I can't stand is, he has 49 points. Oh, he has 50-something. I'm like, half his points comes from the free throw line. I can't fault the man because the refs call it. But at the same time, it's like, is he really doing it? I give him this. He is taking less shots as he used to. But at the same time, it's like I can't fault the man. I can't give him credibility just because he's scoring half the points from the free throw line. To me, you take James Harden from that team, I think you still have a mediocre team at best.
No. Nope.
My MVP of this year right now is Paul George from the Thunder.
I knew you were going to say it.
Paul George is on the tear.
Don't say it.
You take Paul George from the OKC Thunder, they're terrible. They're ass. Russell Westbrook can't do so much with that team. You see that man. That man takes 40, 50 shots a game. Can't do nothing.
Well, yeah, he did have a really bad shooting night tonight, but
I say this.
If you take Harden off, good.
If I would take AD if he was healthy.
This season, it was Anthony Davis.
Exactly.
It's changed because Harden is now averaging 35 points a night.
Exactly. But you can't fault AD himself because he's been hurt. But at the same time, it's like that team. You could tell that team is terrible without him. Terrible. So I would say that I would take Paul George just because they're I believe they're 4th seed in the Western Conference. Third or 4th in the Western Conference. And I blame that mostly on Paul George. Now, this brings me to my next segment with the Lakers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, besides the Knicks, I'm the biggest LeBron fan you will ever see in your life. LeBron, if you ever see me in public, bro, please know your boy. Follow the pod. You feel me? Bro, LeBron is the man. I think he's the greatest player that ever played the game. Now, people say, oh, you're a millennial. You ever seen Jordan? Jordan played against dudes like...
All right, well, don't
the bad boy Pistons. No, I'm not saying you got the bad boy Pistons. Who is Lambeer? Trash. He can't defend nobody. This man fucking clotheslines people.
You getting disrespectful.
How am I getting disrespectful? LeBron's playing against athletes.
That team has 3 Hall of Famers on it.
Hall of Fame don't mean shit. Yao Ming.
Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, Michael Clark.
Do you think Yao Ming's a Hall of Famer? You think he's a Hall of Famer? Exactly.
I feel like he didn't play over here long ago.
Exactly. Yao Ming
again, he is 7'6", and if you heard
they put anybody in the Hall of Fame, bro. If you even drop a couple buckets, they put you in the Hall of
Pro Bowl. Nah, you have to have something. Like, you have to have All-Star games to your name. You have to have something. Like, you have to be high up, coaching, doing anything.
But what I'm saying is LeBron is the best player I ever played. But with the Lakers, my question to you, Chris, is at the deadline, since they're playing really poorly right now, they're 9th in the standings. Team's not playing well. They're losing by 10, 12 points a game now since he's been gone.
That's the LeBron effect, man.
What I say is there a superstar out there that can help this team get to the next point?
I think there are plenty. I mean, people will say like, "Oh, Anthony Davis is coming for sure." All the things that have been said, the communication between him and Bron, even Kawhi Leonard just bought a house. I believe in LA. I think I got the update on my phone a few days ago. But I don't know. I really don't think that anybody will end up coming to the Lakers. That may be just me not wanting to have another super team in the West, but I just don't see it happening. Bradley Beal, I don't think that's happening. The Wizards are like, no, that's not happening at all. He's our best player. I'm sure Anthony wants to win more, but only time will tell. I mean, the deadline's coming up.
The one player, the 2 players I could see definitely in LA in some kind of trade is either Mike Conley or Marc Gasol. I could definitely see them in LA because the Grizzlies are. You remember they started the year and they were playing very well. And then they fell off, and they're really falling off.
They are who we thought they were.
Exactly. I could definitely see.
I'd see Marc Gasol before Mike Conley because I feel like Bron being out has showed Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka that Alonzo Ball can indeed play and run a team.
But
really, and even Brandon Ingram was playing, above what we're used to seeing out of him, and that's a plus.
But this is
they know that they think they have guys, they can play. When Bron comes back, they may be a little low right now because he's out. But when you're missing the best player in the world, it's obviously going to look not like what you're used to. And so when he comes back, I think they'll be okay.
I'm calling it out right now. Mike Conley is going to go to the Lakers.
Wow.
The only reason I say that is 2 reasons.
He's been in Memphis his entire career.
Exactly, but at the same time, Mike Conley's he's a star. He's not a superstar. He's a star.
He got superstar money.
Exactly, which is crazy.
Con man.
I think Mike Conley ends up in LA with giving up less than what people want to bargain for. I see him giving up like a KCP or maybe an Ingram. Nothing too big. Maybe a first rounder.
Memphis, I want one of those pieces because Mike Conley, if he was in the East, he would have at least one All-Star nod. He would have at least one. At least one. Like, there's got to be one in all the years that he's played, at least one. But because Memphis is in the West, if you watch the All-Star game, the West is always, for the most part, heavily favored to win. And it just so happens that Steph Curry, Dame Lillard, Russell Westbrook, they're all there. So is there really room for Michael Conley? And he's kind of undersized.
Actually, why do you think the All-Star game there's captains now?
Yeah.
Because it's so...
You could pick.
You can literally pick from the Western Conference. Like, even D'Angelo Russell was supposed to make the All-Star team.
Yeah.
Like, compared to Mike Conley...
comfortable with D'Angelo Russell All-Star.
But... No disrespect. Hey, Brooklyn Nets, stand up, bro. Shout out. First of all, let me take
a deep ass team,
bro. Let me take this time to shout out the Brooklyn Nets, please, for the state of New York. Please, shout out D'Angelo Russell for what he's doing with that team. They have a lot of injuries right now, but I do see them making the playoffs.
Definitely.
Just because of you realize how deep that team was, having no first round picks for several years because they gave it up for Paul Pierce, who I cannot stand, and Kevin Garnett, old ass players, and they gave up their whole first round, at least 3 or 4 first round picks for.
Kind of ruined them too. Like they had D. Will, Joe Johnson, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Andre Glatch at the 5. Like all that, it really ruined the team, like future. But that's why Billy King lost his fucking job. I hate to see another black man put out,
tragedy,
job, but he did it to himself.
You trade all that, and then you got to the playoffs and you lost in the first round. That's like
so fucking
Toronto of all teams. But like I was saying, I think LeBron, if they get Mike Conley, if they get like a Bradley Beal type, I think they're going to be okay. I don't think they'll win it this year. I think LeBron at least makes the playoffs. I think he gets to at least.
LeBron?
I think he at least gets to either the second round or the Western Conference Finals at most.
They're making it to the Western Conference Finals,
which is a big step because you're jumping over teams like the Nuggets. You're jumping teams like the Thunder. You're jumping teams like the Rockets. You're jumping teams.
I'll put it this way: he's done way more with way less.
Exactly.
He made it to the finals and got swept when he was first in Cleveland. And now look at what he has. A bunch of first round picks.
If you take a step further, before he got hurt, he was beating the Warriors badly at the Warriors. He was beating them on Christmas Day, beating them badly. So I would say if I'm Bron and if I'm Magic Johnson, I'm going to get a shooter. Get me a guy that can knock down some shots because God forbid I'm relying on Josh Hart. And Josh Hart he's a great player, don't get me wrong. Really good, which people highly underrate on this man. But at the same time, I need another shooter. Don't give me some old guy that can shoot like a Dellavedova or Mike Miller or anyone like that. But like I'm saying, LeBron in the Western Conference Finals against the Warriors, calling it right now. You heard? So, ladies and gentlemen, back on the Rocky Ford podcast, we're going to bring you new content every week, like I said. And it's not just sports. It's not just, life things. We're going to talk about music as well. Now, this week, with my main man, Christoph, a.k.a. Young Juice, we talked about our top five hot hype songs ever of all time. Now, what the criteria of this is like, you can go to the gym and then this song can get you hype. You can go to a party, this can get you hype. You can be walking down the street, it gets you hype. This song has to be hype all ways around. It can't just be one certain spot. Mm-hmm. So, Chris, now this has no order yet. But once I give my order, we're going to rank them.
Well, just start with you, considering that you have like a full 5. I only have about 3 songs.
Now, there's no order yet. March Madness by Future has to be in the top 5 because it's Future. You have to. That's that's a hype song you can get to anywhere. You got to do Public Service Announcement by Jay-Z because I'm an old head at the same time.
And you're in New York.
And a New Yorker, so you understand Jay-Z. Yeah. Public Service Announcement. That gets you. You have to go Mad City by Kendrick Lamar, which is another one. You can play at a party. You can play at the gym. You can play anywhere. I was a cliffs. I got long. Anyway, you got to go with. And this is my unsung hero because I think she has changed the rap game so much. I really think she's a dude, but at the same time,
she has less chest than me.
I think this next artist I'm about to present, I really respect her because her artist and her music is so dope. I'm gonna go with Young M.A. Ooh. Her lyrics are so. If you haven't heard of her, I suggest you really look her up, especially her freestyles because she's very creative. She can get her point out there.
Lyrically, don't shoot me, but for saying this about a female, but she's top 5 in the game, bro.
And that's including dudes. That's including dudes.
She's top 5.
Top 5.
She's top 5.
Gotta be. Her bars are just like, yo, who thinks of that?
I'm damn near crying saying this.
So I'm at 3 right now. My 4th song is Mad City by.
No, you already named it.
I already said Mad City?
Yeah.
I said Future, right?
Not gonna hold you a contract.
So my 5th and final is Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mill. Now, if you know me, you know
this has to be on
everybody's list. Anybody's list. This has to be the song that gets everyone going. You can't now, mind you. Look. I'm gonna explain this. If you had a party, you cannot play this song first because it's not a trendsetter. You have to play it throughout the middle. You gotta let the people, you keep going. You build up to it.
Play this shit
and then you play it, and then it's over. Now, if you're a DJ out there, by God, all means, do not mess this up.
Just
please let it play. Let the whole song play. But the next song is so crucial because if you mess this up, you mess up the whole party. You cannot. When I repeat, you cannot mess this up. Please do not play some Playboy Cardi or some Gucci ass rapper. Please play something that everyone can vibe to, like Mo Bamba or something with some flow.
Keep it going. Like,
don't play some Miley Cyrus type shit. Like you gotta feel it. You feel me? Now I know I'm gonna get a lot of feedback because I said these are my top 5, and I know I'm a millennial. And people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're missing out on a lot." Now, there's some songs that are on the bubble. For example, like "Till I Collapse" by Eminem, which is another good one. "Shook Ones" by was it Mobb Deep?
Yeah, Mobb Deep.
There's a lot of songs out there that.
Rest in peace to Prodigy, by the way.
Exactly, Prodigy. Shout out. There's a lot of songs out there that I've missed out, but I think these 5 are really the top 5 ever. Chris, you on now? Your top 5.
Well, I don't really have a top 5, but I'll just give you 3 tracks that I'm really fucking with heavy, and one of them happens to be "Dreaming Nightmares" by Meek Mill, of course.
Amen.
Number 2, I'm gonna go with "I Get Around" by Tupac.
Ooh,
I'm sorry.
I Get Around.
I play this song at least once every day. I recently added it on Apple Music. I'm just like, I can't stop playing this in the shower, at the gym, right before we hoop. It's like, I gotta play this to get hyped. And number 3, if you don't know me, I'm from up north, so I'm from the DMV. I'm from Maryland.
You heard?
And all I really bumped in high school was Shy Glizzy. So 2014, I was just coming into college. He drops his tape in the intro, La Introducción. If you haven't heard it, just go play it. It's iconic to me, and that's just what I have. I'd be selling myself short if I made a full list.
No, if I had to rank them, and there's gonna be, don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, there's gonna be a poll out there, and we're gonna rank. We're gonna give you suggestions about who's the top 5 hype songs of our time. We're gonna give you suggestions, but right now, if I had to rank these top 5 songs, at number 5 definitely would be Mad City.
Yeah.
At number 4,
ooh, I'd go PSA though.
No, I would go with "Ooh" by Young M.A.
What?
Definitely at number 4.
Wow.
Number 3 would be March Madness. Number 2 would be definitely "Dreams and Nightmares" by Meek Mill, which is a surpriser. And number 1 would definitely be "Public Service Announcement" by Jay-Z. Because that song, literally, you can go into anywhere and play that song, and you get hyped instantly. That's if you're a DJ out there, please look up "Public Service Announcement" because that song is basically gold. You play that song, and then you can remix, like you can blend it in. It's an easy blend, please, by all means. But please, we would love to hear your feedback about what hype songs you got out there. Next week we're gonna come out with a brackets.
Yeah, we definitely have to work on this. I love this.
So we got 32 top rap songs of all time. Of all time. Now, mind you, we're gonna miss out on some very important songs out there in the world. And we're going to make a bracket. And we're going to each week.
See, I listen to too many artists to make a list of 5. So, I mean,
which is going to make it hard for all of us.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is we're going to make this bracket. Each week we're going to go week by week. And we're going to go do 1 bracket and then 2 and then 3. So what I'm saying is go out and vote what song should be out there. We're going to keep it on the Instagram post at rockyford.inc. And to the conclusion of this very first podcast, which took us a long time to record, I thank you for listening. We're going to come back next week better than ever. We're going to try to drop more content daily and, keep popping, you heard? And shout out to my man Chris for being out here, the best co-host of the year.
I appreciate that, bro.
The man always came out and support and keep talking to me nice, a.k.a. Meek Mill. You heard?